Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting session of Pokemon D&D Mystery Dungeon Snow. I am your host, the Gold Crow, and with me I have four of my wonderful friends with me. And we didn't discuss who was going to recap the episode off stream, so who's going to do it now? Or else I'm just going to do it and give myself GM advantage. Better think fast.
All right. Well, the taunting is real. So, okay. So last time we did many things, but primarily I believe, left off talking with Estelle, and she informed us about uh how the MDRA more or less expects us to act, got us fancy clothes so we would fit in with the university um, a little bit better. And then we asked her a few more questions. She had the idea of having Dante be part of faculty so we have a bigger scope. We don't know if we'll do that or not because spoiler alert, things went strange as they usually do. Um, we also went to the museum before talking to Estelle. My notes say this. No, that was before. I can't tell where the break in the episode happened.
It happened. You went to the museum before, definitely.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we went to see Dean Woodrow then, and he wants to maintain the prestigious reputation of the school, more or less above everything else. So he wants to try to keep things hush hush. That's why he agreed to Snow rather than an investigation team. And the MDRA is also unaware of our presence, and he wants to keep that up as well. So we're kind of hiding from everyone, is more or less what we were told. Our story that we're giving everyone is that we're exchange students from the water continent. And as of now, we just poked our heads into the lectures that interested us really quickly from three of the teachers. And we're probably going to meet the other three later, so I won't recap them here. But the first three we met was Ozzy, who is the illusion and contraptions teacher who booby trapped her studio to heck and back, and three deck saves was not enough. The fourth one got me. Um, Dante went to go see Father Nevin, who is basically uh, like rebel priest, to put it bluntly. Um, and then we had uh, Malcolm and Nicholas team up together to go talk to Professor Eric Ellis, and he was too scary to ask questions to. And we're probably gonna go to the library or something now, I believe. Oh yeah, and there's skeletons as the janitors here, and Dante's great friends with them, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you can have an inspiration for the road. Well, reroll for the road, and we take the camera back to the prestigious Loom Hall University, where you all have just finished your classes, and you are in the courtyard. Throughout the school during your walks to the classes, you see more of these skeletons in these robes, like acting in janitorial duties. And but they're not the only thing you see. There are those steel guardians just kind of standing in areas, particularly near doors, that seem off limits. Um, but you all reconvene after you all had your classes, and what would be your plans from here?
Uh, so I suppose we probably told each other about what we experienced in the classes and stuff like that, right?
I would assume
Yeah,
so.
we might suddenly have an interest to try to have dinner with the professor for some reason.
All right. So after that, Nicholas says, like, see the remaining professors tomorrow, but suppose for now, we've got a couple of choices. We can either start doing our own research, so to speak, in the library, or we could start mingling with the students.
Yeah, I did want to talk to that Professor Eric Ellis. I suppose I could have asked this question to Estelle, but it could be potentially useful.
Yeah, if you
Because
want to
I
chat
was
with,
wondering how certain people were able to find out enough about us so quickly without having to cross a vast distance. And I think that there might be a method to that, but I'd have to ask to know exactly the extent of the spell. However, we also have access to the library right now, which might be more useful. So I'm not sure which to do.
I could split up again, but if it's comes down to research in the library, more heads is going to make things a lot easier. I guess here's the big question. What should we prioritize? Should we prioritize our scaly friend or should we prioritize our mission?
Well, it's hard to say because we have more than one of those kinds of friends, so which one are you thinking about?
Let's just size and messages. Proteus, Chronos.
Yeah, I think that one's probably gonna be more priority.
Mm. And Malcolm is just rolling around in place.
Gonna
Uh,
break into uniform.
Oh my gosh.
So it's got grass stains now.
Wait, we have I thought we just had fancy clothes. I didn't think we had uniforms.
Not uniforms, just fancy clothes. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. We might get hounded at the end of the school day and be like, "Where's your student robes?"
if they had a uniform, we probably would have
You would have.
noticed by now.
Yeah, considering.
Yeah, I'd prefer to get to know the student body before more stuff happens, but I suppose to be fair, one look at the library is probably all we're going to probably one look at the library is probably all we're going to get on him, or at least give us an idea of what our gaps in knowledge is, or what their gaps in knowledge is in any case.
Yeah, well, I suppose that means we'll have to prioritize the library. Dante, how good are you with books that aren't about mumbo jumbo that makes Yveltal like you?
First off, rude, but We'll just have to go look. I don't know how they'll have it sorted. It's not like it's not like the church back at Helmford. It's the same thing as a library.
I more was wondering if you think that you would be able to remember the knowledge as on this topic. Admittedly, some of it may fall into your wheelhouse of being more driven by beliefs of what they could do than actual facts. But if it's the other way around, I know that I would probably be able to recall it a bit more easily.
Might be best if we just look. All of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, it's going to depend. This place doesn't exactly seem keen on the exact nature of their deities, rather than, well, we've already seen a decent amount of it trying to make sense of magic, both regular and divine.
During your conversation too, you notice a few, like quite a lot of students are going into this building right here, and from this side and this side.
Yeah, I figured that's where I was planning on having Nick go if he did for me.
Yeah, I was
Though
like,
Nick will take.
it is lunchtime, so
Well, Malcolm
Yeah.
can't read, so maybe you three can go in and Malcolm can just listen and hear what he hears in there.
Are we going to really
we'll
trust
have to
Malcolm to go
inform
off on his
him.
own?
You must go up to the counter and you must ask for a salad. That's the fancy word for grass. And
Yeah,
then you'll
okay.
Are we sure we want to
Just-
trust him going off on his own?
Just remember where the library is, Malcolm, and don't go anywhere else. Once you're done listening in there, don't go anywhere else except for the library, unless one of us comes. Unless it's with one of us.
Okay. I wish you could see my devious smile right now.
all I'm saying is if he gets kicked out by Elias and Roy, it will be funny.
Oh boy. We can't seriously be considering letting him going off on his own.
Unfortunately, while we're here, we have to have some level of autonomy, and that includes him. If he's constantly glued to us, I think that would look more suspicious than not at some point.
Besides, we also. I don't want to say we're limited on time because technically we aren't, but it'd be preferable if we make use of what time we do have as best as we can.
We're still
And if
limited by the nature of, well, class time and other campus activities.
Well, there's also the fact that, our two friends might beat us to the punch if we're not careful. We want to make the breakthrough first.
So ultimately, I'd say having Malcolm just listen in to what the students are talking about might be our best way of allocating his time that would otherwise be spent just not really doing much in the library.
We should still consider seeing if they will hire him as janitor, though. I think that these skeletons don't have anything on his raw power.
So what you doing?
We're heading to
Three.
the library while Malcolm's going.
Okay. All right. All right. So
I
At least
can
he's
hear-
going past a whole bunch of flower things and getting the place looking nice.
Yep.
There's potted plants all over this room too. He's gonna make
Oh
a scene
no.
already.
All right. So in the
Oh no.
library, you see the elderly old knocked owl at his desk, and he appears to be reading a book until he puts it down and regards you. Yes?
Yes. We would like to, uh, I suppose, look at some books. I don't think we'll check anything out today, but if we have the freedom to peruse the archive, we would appreciate it.
Is there any particular book you're looking for?
We're doing some research on this. Is probably going to sound weird, but we're doing research on ancient dragons, like the forebears of what dragon type Pokemon are, and seeing if we can prove a link between them or see if all of that stuff is just hokey pokey.
Or rather, how much is faith and how much is fact?
I could gather these books for you for a later time, or you can go down there yourself and look for what you need. It's down the stairs, and once you are down the stairs, go right and down. Below classic literature, there will be ancient history. What you're looking for will most likely be there, but it could be difficult finding the books you need.
It might be, but we may as well start there. Thanks, Prof.
It's Mordain, Professor Mordain.
Classic literature, ancient history. Right.
And the stairs he was pointing to were these ones.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Zoom.
Teleportation. We really do need a teleporter in this big of a map.
Teleportation.
Oh, it goes up. I was going down.
yeah. No, leave your thing where it is, like on the map.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
We cannot see that upper part of
Yep.
the map. It's
Yep.
individually hidden.
I know. All right, just a second. Down, and down, and boop. And
Oh my gosh.
you guys are coming down from here. And you see you are not alone in this room, as there are two steel guardians guarding the stairs down further.
Oh, this is
Oh
the
my gosh.
fanciest library I've been to.
Dang, they got a ton of books here.
Hold it underground.
All right.
Yeah.
We're heading right, then down, and we're looking below classic literature for ancient history.
Right.
So going right would take you this way, and you can definitely see a bunch of classic literature on this shelf right here. And down here, you see a trove of books, basically history books.
Man, this is a tight squeeze.
Dante's fitting back there.
Small species only.
Yeah, well, it's assuming like you can go like that. Each of this, just kind of sitting around the table. Okay, so you want to look for stuff pertaining to dragons. So,
Correct.
you can all do history checks. if people are proficient in history, 2 people, you can help. But if you're not, you're each individually doing the check.
I'm proficient, but I've only got a +3.
I am not proficient at all.
I'm not proficient either. I had to sack it.
All right, so
Oh,
you're
no.
all individual rolls.
Goodbye.
I guess I'm gonna guidance myself.
All right.
Nice.
4. Oh wow. Yeah, you.
Okay.
I didn't roll great.
So, going through the books in the library, you manage to find some pertaining to the ancient kingdom of Draxel, and you're kind of like getting books and just kind of throwing them on the table because there isn't just one, right? There's like a bunch.
Right.
And I guess Proteus isn't having some bad luck finding them. But the rest of you, Nicholas and Dante, you find kind of books that have information regarding that kingdom. And with your checks, Nicholas in particular, you do find what information would you be what do you kind of looking for here?
Probably focusing on information just on like the ancient dragons before like Draxel, like the precursors, and also seeing trying to follow up on that whole thing of them possibly having a combined form, like sort of like Reshiram and Zekrom did as well.
Well,
Those would be sort of the topics he would be honing in on.
you do find a section in one of the books as the precursor from what historians theorize are something called great worms. These metallic dragons that bestowed their power upon certain Pokemon to and that's where dragon type Pokemon came from. And they were more or less custodians of the world, these great worms. But something is odd when you're looking up this information. When you go into more detail about it, there's pages ripped out of this book. And you might think that's just a one-off anomaly, but you go to another one that's kind of on the same subject, and more pages are ripped out.
Okay, this is
We
Very
better report this.
Very deliberate tampering.
And were you looking for anything different, Dante?
I feel like you kind of covered everything I would have been looking for in the same vein, so no.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would be looking for, Nicholas, other than what I covered there?
not off the top of my head, no.
Like, now that you've kind of got this great worm source, you wouldn't be looking to anything else?
Oh,
Um,
I guess more general information on the great worms, I guess. Now that we've got like a focal point, like instead of focusing like Draxel and the kingdom, focusing on the great worms themselves.
It is.
what about any mentions of like the chromatics that
There's
encounters with one?
there's nothing mentioning chromatic dragons. It's theorized they were metallic and always have been metallic. But another thing you pick up on is it's also theory that these 5 great worms were one, and it was theorized to be called the Genesis worm Bahamut.
Interesting.
What?
But that's not much is
Plague.
known about Bahamut. It's just the name popped up in archaeological digs of Draxel, and the Genesis worm was also, that word popped up, so it's theorized it's some sort of creator of sorts.
Remind me, did we ever hear, or Proteus, did you ever hear him mention calling himself the Epoch Worm, or was that specifically
did.
nice? Okay.
No, he definitely did.
There's nothing, you don't see anything about an epoch worm, though.
Hmm.
Curious.
But the pages ripped out were in the section of them gifting power to basically create the dragon type Pokemon.
There's just some gap between that and what happened after.
More like there's details of what that entailed.
Oh. Huh.
Like it's like, you know, the 5 great worms bestowed Pokemon the power of like draconic magic. Read on the next page for how this was done, and then it's not there.
Wonder if that, wait, that could just be intentionally cut out. But if
Oh,
it's not,
There's this nice tear mark here, Dante.
I'd
well,
yeah,
yes, I
I'd,
understand it's been torn out. I'm almost wondering then if this was intentionally torn out by faculty, perhaps to prevent students doing similar to what we're doing, and maybe for more malicious means.
I mean, have you seen a great? Well, okay, that's potentially a bad question considering what we've encountered. But beyond that, like, how many of these students do you think encounter a great worm on a daily basis?
Well,
I
none of
mean,
them, but considering that we're in an entire school related to replicating magic,
wouldn't they want to
Honestly,
know that more then so they could replicate it?
yeah, I was just about to say if we're in a school about replicating magic, then the
I'm more
faculty.
wondering if maybe it's something that the faculty would rather not randomly fall into students' hands.
Well, we can go ask Mordain about it.
It's best
Yeah,
place
I
to
feel.
ask.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a generally good idea, anyways, because we could just pretend to be ignorant about it and assume we're coming up with what looks like vandalism or something like that,
We should probably
and
just bring
sort of,
books with us, since
yeah.
just show him the vandalism.
No, out of curiosity, we're the only ones down here, right?
You appear to be the only ones down here right now,
Okay.
except for the Steel Defenders.
Do the Steel Defenders look like they're paying attention to us, or do they look like they're just guarding that area?
Gee, I
They
wonder.
they're just standing there in front of the stairs. The map doesn't properly reflect it, but they're kind of like imposing themselves on the
In
stairs.
front of the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then Nicholas is going to, on her way up, he's going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. All right, I'll keep that in mind. But first,
Oh,
Malcolm.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
All right, Malcolm, you find yourself in. Well, you're first in front of a door, and you see some students or just other people walking past you, and they're talking to each other, and they go into this large room here.
All right, he rolls in.
All right, inside this room, you see several tables and more young Pokemon sitting around tables, eating, and they're talking to each other. Some have this shiny circular thing in their hand, and they have it to their heads, and they're just sitting there silently. But yeah, it seems like they're not not shown on the map. There is a kind of counter here with two of those bony guys, and the students are going by and saying various foods, and the bony guys are putting the food on a plate and handing it to them.
All right, he'll get in line.
Yeah, and it's kind of a slow line because it's a cafeteria, or you don't know it's a cafeteria. Sorry, it's really slow as they as they go along, and eventually you see one of these skeletons. You can't really tell what it was, more or less. It has a beak, but it's just kind of standing there looking at you now.
Grass.
It stays silent for a moment, and it gets a plate, and it just walks out of the cafeteria.
Malcolm's standing there patiently while there's a growing line behind him.
And it comes back, and it just slaps the grass on the plate and hands it to you.
Thank you. He takes it, and then he sets it on the floor just like over here and starts eating it.
This Semipore walks up to you and says, "Yeah, why are you eating on the floor, bro?"
Where else would I eat? That's where the grass normally is anyway.
You gotta, eat at a table, man.
Why?
Because you're get in trouble, dude.
Why?
What if dude, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
If Professor Akela sees you, he's gonna lose it, bro.
Oh, he's kind of scary. Maybe I should eat at a table.
Yeah, bro. I'm just looking out for you, bro. You new here, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Owen.
Hi.
What's yours, bro?
I'm Malcolm.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, bro. So, what are you studying, bro?
Agriculture.
Agriculture. Oh, well. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I'm just here because my parents are rich, bro.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, they just sent me here, but I'm just really not getting it, bro. I rather party, bro. You know what I mean, bro?
Party. Yeah, I know what that means. That's all the people out in front of that one building, over that way. And he points in the completely wrong direction.
Yeah, bro. So if you ever wanna you're new here, bro. So if you ever want to party with us, me and my boys, oh man, at night we do the good stuff, bro. We do the good stuff, bro.
What's the good stuff?
Oh, you have to be there to know to experience it. I can't tell you it here, bro, because some other people here they'll narc on you, bro. You don't want that.
Oh, narking sounds bad.
Yeah, bro, it is. It totally is. You're not a narc, are you?
I don't think so.
Okay, good, bro. Well, if you want to hang, bro, just come in here at night, bro. Just outside of this place, like right over there. That's when we do the good stuff, bro.
Oh, okay. Can I bring other not narcs?
Well, this is a very exclusive club, bro. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just I looked at you and I have like a cool radar, and the cool radar was pointing to you, bro. The way you were bailed by eating on the ground. Oh, bro, that's hardcore, bro. But you can't do that in public.
Okay. And he picks up his plate and he goes over to this table.
All right. Well, if you want to come, that's where we'll be later, bro.
Okay.
And yeah, what do you do after that? Owen walks away and he's just hanging out with he's sitting around a full table, and you hear constant like whooping and like slamming on the table with like, yeah, bro.
Let's see. He's gonna keep eating, but he's also just gonna kind of listen. There are a lot of people around here, and these people don't act like Malcolm's, so he's gonna try to pay attention to what they're talking about.
All right, do a perception check.
All right, let's see here. I think I've got that. 7.
You could listen to these people, but that grass is just freshly plucked, and the bony guy, he went through all that trouble, so it's best you focus on that.
I'd better enjoy it. He worked so hard.
Yeah, for preparing that meal. While you're eating this meal, you are cut off by a kind of really obvious
1 second. He looks up in the direction of it.
And it's that boring guy that you was talking for 2 hours. Professor Eric Hillis.
He like jumps a little bit and then kind of stands at attention looking up at him. I'm not doing anything wrong, am I?
In one hand, he's holding some papers. In the other, he's holding a talisman that you saw your friend speaking names into, and they started like wandering away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to you, Malcolm McFluff.
Yeah?
Can I see you in my personal office?
Oh, okay.
And he begins he puts down the talisman while still holding the papers, and he begins bringing you over here.
Second. Okay. There we go.
To his office. Meanwhile,
Malcolm's dead, boy.
I can't believe he's about to be murdered.
My
gosh.
All right, so you see you get up with your calm emotions all prepared. Or
detect
not
thought.
detect thoughts,
Detect
sorry.
thought.
And yeah, you could do that successfully as there was no one really watching you. And you see the librarian back at his desk, and he's reading a book.
Hey,
We brought most of the books with us. At least a few of them that had the tears.
Hey, Professor Bourdain, is there a vandalism problem or something?
As you say vandalism, he like snaps shut his book and his head perks up. Vandalism?
Yeah,
We
we were doing research on the ancient dragons, like we said, and we found a couple books on them, and Nicholas has the book open with the torn pages, and he shows and he says, "There's some torn pages here."
Except it's not just the one book.
There is with your detect emotions, you detect he was expecting this. Like the expectance. He knew you were going to say this.
Interesting. Okay.
May I see those books?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm over.
He goes through them and he gets to the section with the missing pages. You did not do this, did you?
We did not.
Vandalism is a serious matter, especially in my library.
Every book we
We,
went looking through, specifically on Draxel, we found sections like this, just missing.
yeah, we had nothing to do with this. We found like this while we were doing our research.
Well, this is a serious issue, and I will get to the bottom of it.
Do you have any idea what might cause this?
Rather who?
Or rather, who? Yeah.
He is thinking right now, and he says, perhaps a student who thought they were funny.
And what's he thinking?
He's he was kind of sifting through an excuse.
Ah,
It's not like damning like as in he did it, but he was just looking for an excuse, like that kind of thing.
okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess so.
Part of us were wondering if it was just because that knowledge is forbidden to students.
No, the forbidden knowledge is on the bottom floor, the lower floor, and that is faculty only.
That's what defenders were sitting there for.
Yes. They will attack you, but they will merely incapacitate you if you try going any lower.
Yeah, that's not really high on my priority list, so rather not break the rules on our first day here. Still, that's fortunate. But, well, at least now you know, so hopefully you guys can figure out who the perp is.
Yes, I certainly will. And please report any other vandalized books if you come across them.
Yeah, we'll be sure to do so.
Okay, so he takes the books.
All right.
Is there
Well,
anything you wish to do or look for after that?
I was just about to have Nicholas ask that. Is there anything else we want to do research on while we're here?
Dante looks back over to Proteus.
I say that next we should look at the epochs or eras or aeons, however those larger historical accounts might affect things, see if there might be something of a pattern.
All right, so back.
That would be in the same section I sent you to last time.
Again,
Yep.
ancient history.
All right, back to ancient history we go then.
All right. And back up here, but down there. All right. We do another investigation check, or no, history check if you're looking for books.
Right.
All right.
Ah.
Oh, whoops. That was a 21, by the
Ooh.
way. I have +2, not a +3 in this.
All right.
I read my modifier wrong.
364. Blessing
Oof.
again. Oh, hey.
Okay,
This
this
time I got
time
the 22.
Dante's the one saving us.
All right, Dante. What are you looking for specifically in terms?
All right. So we're trying to make a connection to this epoch worm. So I guess the question is if there's anything like. One second. Misunderstanding the meaning of epoch. What are you guys thinking? Like, we're just looking for like general eras of history, or
Yeah. See if
I mean,
there's.
that's really broad.
Yeah, it's like I can't like that when you tell
Yeah.
the rise and fall of the Roman Empire with the a bunch of other like historical things.
Yeah, that's the. I was thinking about. I was like, that's an incredibly broad topic. We're talking eras. So
I mean, a lot of them have to condense that information down to the most important bits. That's more what I would be shooting for.
But like kind of digesting that in an afternoon, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Well-
we're
Reading
asking
and
to go
digest.
Well, I'm not saying we read them in like detail. One of these books has to have like the TLDR, the timeline with like the digits on them.
Well,
you're looking for a general history book.
I feel like the problem is like, what's this going to do?
Yeah, that's. Figured out.
So I don't think we're gonna learn about the epoch worm through general
Yeah,
through
no.
like
If we're looking at the
general.
epoch worm, we'd have to be looking for like.
Anomalies, things that people don't know what happened to.
That wouldn't really be a history anymore. We'd have to be looking in a different section entirely.
I mean, there are things like missing artifacts or things that have not been discovered yet.
How do you?
Like things go missing in history all the time.
Um. In that case, do we want to look for? I'm almost wondering if we want to look for like more individual accounts regarding the metallic dragons.
That I could give to you if you want.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Okay. Yes. Throughout since you kind of have this through line of the dragon now, you kind of transfer that over to your history and kind of look for their names or descriptors in those. And yes, it seems like these dragons were influenced certain things around different kingdoms. Like as in, I say that as in like it's, and this is all theory too, that like one kind of a bolstered community, one bolstered performance arts, one bolstered wisdom, one bolstered kind of war kind of that sort of thing. And this is spread out throughout all the kingdoms, as you like notice this through line of like noticing the word Great Worm come up in like the Steel Kingdom and the Grass Kingdom and all of them like that.
Community, arts, wisdom, war. What was the second one?
There was performance arts, a community, like scholarly knowledge, war. I think that's it.
Like performance
there
and arts
5?
were two different things.
Like
Performance
performance
arts is the
like acting, like theater.
Right, so that's one, not two things.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah,
only
'cause that
I'm
was
only
separate
counting
from-
4: community, performance arts, wisdom / scholarly, and war.
In community.
I already said community.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm lost. The 5th one's gone.
No,
Maybe-
it doesn't say have a 5th one. It just has those 4.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not one thing tied to a
Yeah.
dragon. It's
Yeah. They all. So it may be some foster different things, or 2 of them doubled up in other ones, but that's kind of what they propped up. Is what it
Okay.
seems due to these history books.
community,
Okay,
performance
gotcha.
arts,
Yeah, that's-
wisdom, knowledge, war. Okay.
that's why we were all like, "What?"
Oh,
Because we were-
there is a 5th one in my notes. Subterfuge.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Like spies.
huh.
All right. Well, we know which kingdom would have enjoyed that one the most.
All right.
I'm like, which kingdom is performance arts based on?
No, like any kingdom that had
Any kingdom.
performance arts, like they were bolstered by these great ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of them had to like be the runaway. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I want to do with
Well, in theory.
myself now.
Yeah, in
'Cause,
theory. Yeah.
like,
In meta knowledge,
Umbra-
yes.
Meta
Yeah,
knowledge is
like Umbra was
everything.
like the runaway winner with subterfuge is kind of my point. So they would have probably the most
Yeah.
teachings
they'd
from
have
that dragon survive.
they'd have more accounts of that than anything else, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think who would be that for performance arts.
Oh, like which kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay, but that was kind of like what you got. You'd have to research more. It's kind of getting a little late as you've been studying in the library. So
Okay.
so let's go to Malcolm, and Malcolm, come to the private room with me.
He's getting
Oh,
banished.
no!
He's banished.
All right.
Bye, Malcolm.
Do we have
Goodbye.
do we have a private room? Can you still get in the movie thing?
I believe so.
The movie one is public.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. All right. Actually, can you go to the streaming? No, the streaming one is also. Well, it's okay. All right. So in
You know, I remember going to the principal's office as a kid, and this feels very similar.
so Professor Arakelis, he takes you across the it's quite close actually across the campus. His face very stern and unreadable, and he opens the door, and he takes you into this office. In this office, there's various bookshelves, a large mahogany desk, and 2 seats, one in front, rather nicer looking seat in the back. And as he's kind of walking around the desk, he says, "Sit down."
Malcolm complies.
In his room, you notice strange, like almost toys that look like a stick with sparklies sort of on it, and various tomes on his desk, and paper very very neatly sorted. There's also like a little tiny picture it's actually a really nice drawing. It almost looks lifelike of what looks like Mr. Eric Hellis, and he's standing next to a Ninetales and a Fennekin and a Vulpix. And he is the same stern, unreadable fellow he is in real life as he is in that picture. But he sits down at his chair and he grabs spectacles and puts them at the bridge of his snout and looks at the papers. I inquired Dean Woodrow who you were, and I was dissatisfied when he did not give me much information. So I'd rather hear it from the Wooloo's mouth. Who are you?
I'm Malcolm. I am from the Water Continent. I'm a transfer student. You want more?
What do you wish to major in?
Agriculture.
Then why did you come to my lecture?
Well, I was kind of going with Nick. I mean, we're new here, and being alone is scary sometimes.
Nick was the fellow with you, correct?
Yeah.
Well, why I'm speaking with you right now is what I noticed is you seemed interested in my lecture at the beginning, but then you seemed more interested in what the wall had to say than me.
Yeah, well, you were talking about how to control all the magic stuff, and that was that's kind of important to me. But then you kind of stopped talking about that and went on to talking about other things, and I didn't know what you were talking about, so I just kind of started thinking about grass.
Hmm. So, what part of controlling magic particularly interests you?
Well, you know the part that you can maybe make things explode but not hurt other things.
Yes, that is. To tell the truth, that is why I am here. I am not. Evocation is not my specialty. It is the most basic of the schools of magic. And if the students here wish to replicate it, my duty is to make sure they do not blow themselves up.
Well, that's a pretty important job. I can tell you're like really smart, so it's good that they've got someone like you here to do that.
Yes, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. Again, you didn't seem, for someone who wishes to gain this knowledge, you didn't seem particularly interested in my class.
Um, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, sometimes I just think about grass and dreams. I think about dreams a lot. That was actually my first job. I was uh back where I come from. I was I help people sleep.
So the trouble is you think about grass, because grass is more interesting than what I have to say.
Well, I'm hungry a lot. because there's not a lot of grass here, and I just got here in the school, and the grass outside of the school is really gross.
Quite. Well, I do not want you to come to my class anymore.
But why?
Let me finish. I want you to come after my class has ended, so we can keep your mind focused on me and not the wall.
Oh, okay, that might work.
I demand perfection from my students. I know that has made me quite intimidating, but my goal is to make you the best version of yourself.
Malcolm's eyes kind of sparkle a little bit, and he says, okay. I'll come after class then. Like immediately after class or like at night?
Immediately after class.
Okay. I'll do that, Mr. Eric Ellis, sir.
In fact, I can take you right now since we're a little into lunch, but I can take you there now.
Okay.
All right, and he would basically, if you're gonna go with him, he's gonna take you basically through here, through there, or no, he would go through. Yes, this is actually kind of a funny bit now. All right, so let's go back to the main chat.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, after you guys get that information, what would you do?
You said it's getting to like the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go look for Malcolm back in
Yeah.
so we would.
Okay, funny as you say that.
Uh-oh.
The doors
We're
open.
next.
Oh,
The doors open,
Oh,
and you see that stern Delphox leading Malcolm towards the classroom.
what did Malcolm do?
why would he? This is why I didn't like him going alone.
At least, did these stairs go up or down?
Those go up.
He said he's going
Yeah,
towards this
and
class.
they see
Yeah.
you see each other. He sees you. Everyone sees each other as he's walking by. They're going into this room here. They seem to be headed towards there. They're entering from here.
All right.
Malcolm?
Uh,
Hi, guys. I'll catch up with you later.
What's going on?
I'm getting lessons.
Proteus is probably going to lose his poker face for the first time. Just bewildered, like, look between you and this Delphox.
Yeah, the Delphox looks at you with just an unreadable face and takes Malcolm, is just walking Malcolm to this room.
And if only detect thoughts lasted longer.
That was what professor was that?
Professor Eric Ellis. And Nicholas is going to use message on both of them and say, I think I might know what this is about, but I'm not positive. Well, there's a bunch of questions I have in general. There was his whole thing was about magic and control, Professor Eric Ellis, and Malcolm was debating on talking about his the uncontrollableness of some of his things he can do. I didn't think he'd do it, and I told him to talk to you guys first before going to him, but I guess he decided to talk to Professor Eric Ellis anyways.
I thought there was a distinctly no magic policy.
No Monoborn, technically, but
I mean, by all accounts, he's not, so. Well, normally I would try to listen in on this conversation, except this is Malcolm we're talking about, so we're probably going to find everything out one way or another. The question is if we have to do a quick escape or not.
I'd rather not get in trouble trying to barge in, as much as I'm afraid for what might be going on.
No, I mean like he might explode something and then we have to get him out of here.
for now, I'd say we'll just wait here for him to come out. But if it reaches late into the night, then I think it's about then I think we'll take matters into our own hands.
I mean, this is private tutoring. He might be in there for a while.
That's why I said we'll wait.
And do what?
Read.
More library checks after. The... Dante just kind of frowns, looking back over towards the door where Malcolm went into. And then, well, if we wanted to look more, I don't know what else we can really glean at this point.
I mean, I think it would be wise to try to familiarize ourselves with the campus at this point, or at least I think that's what I want to do.
Might be a better use of time while we're waiting, anyways.
I don't want to. My biggest worry is I don't necessarily want to, especially now that things are going on, I don't necessarily want to leave this library without, just in case something happens.
There's more than one exit to that room, you know.
Right. That's a fair point. Well, I guess I wanted to do some performing anyways, so
I mean, if you really want to, I could go and see the other professor, but I wouldn't really have line of sight or anything there. But the only other exit would be in that general direction.
yes, do so if you want to, but otherwise, we may as well do what you said and familiarize with ourselves with the campus.
All right, I guess we're spreading out then.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to Malcolm in the private room again.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna
You're
get
killing
deleted.
us.
All right, you are taken into this room again, Malcolm, and it's empty now, and uh, Professor Arkellis goes to his. He gets you to sit down at one of the desks. It's one of those desks where you kind of sit down on, but there's kind of like the table in front of you, and your legs go under. You just kind of sit on it, and he goes through his desk, and he's looking for something, and he finally grabs it and walks over to your table and just kind of puts a book in front of you.
Heart beating.
I want you to read chapter 1, and I will drill you on by the end of the lesson.
Okay. He opens the book.
Yeah, and you can't read, so you have no
Yep.
idea.
He's just kind of staring at it blankly.
All right. And do you wish to just to put up that facade that you're reading it?
He's like looking at the first letter, and he says, "What's that letter?"
He was just kind of sitting down in his desk, marking some papers, and he walks over to you. And his unreadable face turns a little curious. That's a T.
Okay, that letter, and it's the next letter.
He takes off his glasses. You can't read.
Malcolm kind of shuffles a bit and taps his hooves on his chair, and he says, "No."
He pulls away the book. And he goes over to the chalkboard. Change of plan. On the chalkboard, he grabs a piece of chalk and he puts a symbol that looks like this. What does that symbol remind you of?
That reminds me of me.
Mm-hmm. That is an M. It makes an sound.
Well,
Now,
that makes sense.
what does that remind you of? Perhaps a mountain.
Yeah.
That is an A.
Yeah, either that or one of those pokey trees.
Keep that in your mind. What's this remind you of?
Green.
That is an L. It makes an L sound. With what we've formed so far, what does that say with those sounds?
Mal.
Next. What does that remind you of?
It reminds me of those rings that sometimes they put on mill tanks' noses.
That is a C. It makes a S sound. Or a K sound. In this case, it will be K.
Okay.
Next. What does this remind you of?
A donut.
That is an O. That will make an O sound. O. Next, I've already told you what this one is. What is this?
Green. L.
Yes. And finally, this.
That's me.
Now, try to put all those letters together. And I'm going to make you do an intelligence check for this.
Yeah. Alright. That's the wrong server. There we go.
And maybe I'll give you advantage because he's technically helping you.
Okay. This is a -1. 13.
It was only 12. Okay, so yeah, you can just say what it is.
That's Malcolm. That's Malcolm. That's me.
Yes. I want you to remember these letters. And tomorrow,
Okay.
I want you to draw me a picture and put your name at the bottom right of it. Using these
Okay.
letters. Everything you submit to me, I want this at the bottom. You understand?
Yeah.
Very well. You are going to, instead of reading the book, you are going to... He hands you a piece of paper and a quill, is write this on 100 times. You do know how to count, do you?
Oh, I'm really good at counting.
Good. Then get started.
Okay. and he like sticks the quill between his cloven hoof and starts writing.
All right. You're going to be in here for a little bit writing this. He goes back to his desk and he begins signing some more papers.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to go back to the party so you can come back. So
Okay.
make them sweat of what you're doing in here.
Yes.
All right. All right. Yeah. So Malcolm has disappeared into that room, and you are all debating on what to do. What do you wish to do?
Well, I already decided what I'm doing, which is going like this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going around.
All right. Are you just all separating?
Yeah, I think so.
Think?
Okay. All right. Well, you took initiative, so I guess we're going with you first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious as to what this room is.
That is a bookstore. As you walk in, there's a mill tank kind of sitting there at again, just kind of sitting there reading a book similar to Mordain was, and yeah, you could. She says you can purchase books here,
Okay.
and they basically do the same thing that yeah they have done for a while.
Okay.
I'll give you that +5 to a certain skill check.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have no money.
Well, I'm sorry, but these are not free.
I'm sorry, Link.
And this isn't like an extensive wealth of knowledge that the library is. This is just kind of a common bookstore.
Yeah, I might. Do they have a book on like artificery or something like that? I might need this in the future if I go back to that class.
Yes, how much did we agree the books would be?
25.
Yeah, 25 gold. You can't take it out, so yeah, you need to buy it.
All right. Insert sonic ring loss sound here.
The awkward moment when you walk in a shop with all money, knowing full well you have no money.
Okay.
When you stumble into the shop and you're like, shoot, now
So-
I have to act like I wanted to be here.
So I'll say that'll be for like tinkering or artificery or basically Professor Ozzy's class. All right. And is there
Yeah, but I have to actually like read the book, so I guess I
Oh,
will
yeah.
have to come like back out to the main lobby here and start to read it.
Oh, is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I
How
have
are
a
you-
window seat to see if Malcolm ever comes out, so
Yeah, I guess-
what book?
Well, he could come out from this door too.
yeah, but I would hear that.
Yeah. All right.
That's part of why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you digest.
Partially exploring, partially look out in plain sight.
Oh, okay, I'll let you digest your book then. Let's. Nicholas was the second to move out, so let's go to him next.
Yeah, Nicholas is gonna do what I was initially planning on having him do his free time for, and he's gonna enter the cafeteria, check just to make sure that it's not like suddenly empty now.
It's kind of you kind of you took a while in there, so you it's kind of thinning out now because it's not lunchtime anymore. Like, well,
I thought it might have been close to dinner.
yeah, but there are still some people just eating in here.
Okay, well that's fine by me. He's probably going to just walk over here, lean against the wall, take out his loot all casually, and just start playing on it.
All right, and the intent is to get attention.
Yeah, sort of get attention. Yeah, mostly like not absolutely like frantically getting attention, but just sort of to be noticed, to have people notice him playing.
Okay, do a performance check.
All right, and because I have the tool, I have advantage on the check, right?
Yeah.
Got tool proficiency. Okay. All right, first roll, dirty 20. Each remember fan for advantage. Okay, yeah, dirty 20.
So as you're playing you noticed a very flamboyantly dressed um a hoppip looks over at you and says, "By the stars and the line of the stage lights, what divine melody that grace mine unworthy ears! Is it a sweet whisper of a muse? The voice of the heavens themselves? Nay, I say, I see now it is you, a tortured artist porting your very soul into each note."
Okay, so Nicholas is first off thinking, and Estelle thought that voice I made was weird. But out loud, obviously, he's not saying that out loud. He's thinking that out loud. He says, "Glad you noticed. I'm not entirely much for the dramatic, though I can do it. But I'm a musician by trade."
I simply cannot. It's too beautiful, the pain and the passion. Oh, you, my dear, are an untapped well of artistry, unshackled by the mundane constraints of society. And how must you suffer in your craft? Would you by any chance want to partake in poetry reading with us later? Me and my associates.
Eh, sure, I wouldn't mind.
We meet later in the dead of night. We are called the Dead Poets Group. So please join us at night time, O maestro of melodies.
All right, sure. You meet on campus?
We will be we will we're actually going to go outside the walls of this foul city, where we can go in the forest, where nature knows our harmony.
Oh, all right.
Yes. Yes, I will see you later, maestro.
Yep.
Until
See you
then,
later, then.
bless these hallowed halls with your divine song.
Will do.
Yeah. And he gives you an honorary like click as he walks away or hops away.
Oh, not how I expected it, but at least I finally got company.
All right.
He mumbles to himself, and yeah, he keeps on playing.
Dante, what are you doing?
I'm thinking I wanted to actually look into like the suggestion before that was helping out faculty in some means. I'm trying to think how I want to do that.
Okay.
Um, Maybe go back to Dean Woodrow and ask more directly, I think.
All right. Yeah, his you know where he is. He's over here. The door is closed, but I presume you knock or walk in.
Yeah.
All right. And you hear, come in, come in.
And he'll open he'll open the door and just uh, afterwards close behind him and just start off. All right, so first day on campus has been an experience. I just wanted to double check back with you
Oh, yes, what is
due
it?
to a few suggestions that were brought up before.
Hmm.
You there was a brief discussion about potentially helping out with faculty staff, but I'm not sure where I would exactly get started with that sort of thing.
Well, it would be, do you have a certain area of expertise?
Uh, Arguably, well, most likely in the same area that Father Nevin was in, which would be divine theory. So,
I would perhaps maybe try to locate him and, uh, perhaps seek guidance on this issue. But I was able to, pick up an account, a rather strange account, of absent students. And this is what we are telling everyone is the case with the ones that have disappeared, as I don't want to use that word liberally. They are absent and have been absent for a long
right.
time, but there is one student I know is absent, but has spent most of his days in his dorm room and hasn't left. He's in there. We've sent some to check on him, but he rebukes any attempt for anyone to enter. Perhaps connecting with him, if you're part of trying to blend in with the student body, is perhaps you could try that avenue.
I'll keep that in mind. That might be something better for one of the others. Just a student simply just staying in their dorm all the time.
Yes, he's claiming he's sick, but he's a rather I know him. His name is Figgery Finn. He's a very he's a very meek, shy boy. But he's never been so shy to lock himself up in his room for days.
He's locked himself up for how long now?
It's been a few days now. It's been 3, I believe. His professors have informed me just today that he has not shown up, and we've done checks on him, and he has been met with rebukes, and we do not want to invade his privacy, but it is concerning.
That sort of thing making me wonder what might be going on, but I don't know if it would necessarily be the same connection as the rest of the absence.
He's claiming he's sick. That's the most we've gotten out of it.
Oh, any lead is something, I guess.
Mm. So, do what you will. You can seek Father Nevin and find him easily with the device I gave to you, or the talisman that was provided by Professor Soulshade. It also works on the students attending, including you four. So it's
Right.
quite easy to find any faculty member or any student. But they do not work off campus, as we have tried proclaiming the missing students' names, but it has no effect.
See. All right. I think that explains a little bit earlier. Thank you.
Yes.
And at that point, I think Dante will go ahead and raise up the talisman and speak to Father and Evan just to try finding him again.
Yeah. And it will take you back to the room you were before. I'll readjust you in a second.
Right.
Boom.
Of loss. Oh, yep.
And in the room, you see that same that same Rapidash in the room. Funny enough, it looks like he is praying.
Yeah, as he enters, he gently knocks on the door just to make sure he's not interrupting anything.
Yes.
I apologize if I'm interrupting. Just checking back in after the lecture today, and well, I'm still getting settled in, but while I and a few others have recently transferred in from Water Continent, I'm more looking to potentially help out with the faculty staff if I can. And given my well, area of expertise, I was told I should be checking in with you.
I remember you from my class earlier. I could sense a certain amount of discomfort.
You could say that. I apologize if I offend. It's just
Oh no. I expect very less. I expect that. But you wish to help me, and are you prepared to help me with my brand and perspective of teaching what I do about divine theory?
I think that sort of thing might take me a bit to get used to. But well, I am here mostly looking to help the faculty, and given I wouldn't be much help to any of the other professors, he just like adjusts the collar.
Get out of here! And you see him snap all of a sudden as, like, you see one of those skeletons going in to start sweeping, but then it just, like, leaves when he yells at it, as his calm demeanor is broken. Excuse me.
Ah. I take it you're not a great fan of them either.
I do not care about loopholes. It's an abomination to me.
We have something in common in that regard. Won't lie, I was greatly discomforted seeing them when I first came here.
The dead deserve rest, not reanimation to mop floors.
Not to mention the bones being polished the way they are.
Oh, that would be Professor Nightingale that does those atrocities.
I think, well, we can probably still find common ground then.
Oh, let me give you a little context as I did not leave. I did not lose faith. I left because the hallowed flames lost theirs.
He simply raises an eyebrow at that.
You have noticed lately how the hallowed flames is more or less mobilizing, like war, like soldiers.
I have noticed the number of them out on the road just during our trip here.
They say they're preparing, but there is no salvation in war, only bodies in ruin. And technically, they are just following the teachings to prepare for a war they think is coming. The path they walk now leads to fire, but not the fire of purity, the one that consumes. And one day, they will look at their reflections and see no difference between themselves and their enemies. That is why I left.
He's actually contemplative of this, given Nevin's explanation. So, a disagreement in the exact teachings.
Exactly. And that's what more or less led me to the belief that the deities we praise can be wrong. And I wish to spread the better part of that faith with those who will use it responsibly. And I know they don't like this. My former peers have excommunicated me, taken away my rank as Flamekeeper, and I have been reduced to using the title of Father. But I don't care. These are my beliefs, and they can't take those away from me.
Perhaps it's not the deities that are wrong, but maybe just the Pokemon following them.
Yes, maybe, perhaps. But since I left, I've gained the perspective that everyone is flawed. There's no such thing as perfection. It's an illusion, much like that little lizard conjures. Or tries to.
He
And,
does stay quiet just briefly before
and if the deities are flawed, what does that say about the world beyond them? That is where my lecture came from. Dante, was it?
that would be correct, yes.
So if you are sincere on wishing to aid me, this is where I come from. And I am aware some of the more devout and pious of my students will leave when they understand what I teach.
Granted, perhaps my perspective is a little bit different, as I was not one of the flame, but instead of the wing. Well, not was, I still am.
Yes. Then it's understandable why you look down at those abominations wandering the halls like I do.
Quite.
I pass these halls every day, and I see them, and I must remind myself not to burn them.
How do you do such a thing?
Yes, it
I mean,
defies the edicts. But you know how Glinda, Professor Nightseed, got away with this. Out of this perversion of nature. It's because they gave consent before they died to be reanimated this way and serve the school. So, unfortunately, there's nothing anybody can do about it because it's a loophole.
he's very clearly frustrated at this and just starts mumbling a little bit. Granted, if they're spirits, but the problem is there's still such a defilement of the body.
It, it doesn't matter in their eyes because they gave consent to it while they were still living.
I couldn't even understand why one would consent to that in the first place.
Because they want to serve the school in death, but those things are not them. You may as well animate stone and stick a name tag on it.
Why not just use the constructs instead?
Because they wanted the former faculty, the former professors of this institution wished for their bodies to be used in death to serve the school, and obviously they still can't teach like that. So instead they mop and mow and do other demeaning things.
He just shakes his head.
Yes. And if people can't see what's wrong with that, then I can't help them. Would you let them do that to you?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. They try to say it's harmless. And it starts harmless, maybe. But then what happens when it's not?
Then it goes from just simple issues to full-on problems.
Yes. If they wish to truly understand life, they would not seek to chain it to cadavers.
I think it's hard to argue it's even life.
Yes. But
Then again, we've lost the thread.
yes, sorry, I'm very passionate about this issue. And it's
No,
not.
I should apologize for allowing the topic to go as far as it did.
And it's technically Professor Nightingale's area of expertise talking about this. But I am still forced to look at them, and it's an affront. But back, as you said, to the topic at hand. I'm willing to let you assist in my lectures.
I think I can agree to the methods you have prepared.
Just, I would ask you, the way you say you came in from the air continent,
Water.
Water comment.
Water. The schedule is, you don't have a schedule. You can come into my class at any time. It's in the morning, like every other professor when we give our lectures. You can choose a day to come in, and I'll let you take over and moderate you.
Sorry, the bot here.
Yeah, okay.
Completely distracted. All right. That should work, considering that, as is, I might still have things outside the campus that I'll have to worry about.
Okay. That shall suffice. And again, if you wish to come, just come to my class early in the morning, and I'll let you set up.
Right.
I will moderate.
That sounds like a good idea then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
yeah, go on.
At that point, he's gonna head back and try to look for the others.
All right. Okay, at this point, Malcolm, you did what was necessary, and he tells you to do what he told you to do next time you come here. You're not. He stresses you're not obligated to come here, but you come there. You go there at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you can leave.
I don't like the wording of any of that.
um. Yeah. You're in the library now, or the book place.
The book place. He just he goes down and looks out the window to get a feel for what time it is.
Actually, join me back in the private room.
Okay.
Oh my
no!
god! Why is that place booby trapped when we?
All right. Yeah. So, with your intelligence check, you got Dame writing lines of your name on a piece of paper. You hand it to him. Or he just kind of, when you're done, when you reach the end of the page, he kind of notices and picks it up and says, "You were a bit outside the lines, but this is satisfactory. I expect better from you next time, but this is good."
Oh, I'm gonna have to practice.
Yes. You remember your assignment.
Yes, I need to draw you a picture and then put my name at the bottom corner.
Yes. Try to make it even. Even means between the lines as it was on this paper. See how you're out of it.
Okay, between the lines.
Yes, but there will be no lines on the picture unless you're drawing on line paper, which I will strictly prohibit. It can't be on line paper.
Okay.
Yes. And then you are free to go.
All right. Thank you. No one's ever tried to teach me to read before. And he hops out of his desk and makes his way back to where we were before we hopped in here.
Yes, quite. All right, we can go back to the main room. All right, yeah, and so you leave, and you're in the book place now. Where do you want to go from the book place?
All right. He's just kind of walking down here, and then he sees I believe it was Mordain, right?
Yeah.
Hey, do you have any paper? No lines.
Yes, I have some here. Here. You should have your own supplies, but I'm willing to provide for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, you have a just a white piece of paper.
All right. Can I have a righty thing?
Oh my god.
A quill?
Yeah.
Something about that seems... never mind. He hands you a quill. With, do I need to provide you with the ink, too?
That's the black stuff, right?
Yes. Or perhaps just a pencil will do.
Yeah.
He gives you a pencil.
Thanks. Are these pillars or tables?
Those are pillars.
Okay. Malcolm's gonna walk out here.
Yeah.
And,
You see Malcolm
gonna-
Proteus.
Oh boy, time to get that boy.
Yeah.
I'm seeing him leave with
A pencil
writing
paper.
utensil.
Yeah.
he goes over to this bench.
Yeah.
Oh
And-
my god.
He sits
Alright.
down at it, and, yeah, he's doing his thing.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
So you
after
just see
him.
Malcolm just kind of stop there at a bench with the paper, and it looks like he's writing.
How dare he?
What do you mean writing?
Yeah. Am I allowed to go over there?
Yeah, you can go over there if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Proteus.
What happened?
Oh, I'm learning how to read.
Is that all?
Yeah, and he starts writing really jagged letters, but he's trying as hard as he can to keep it as straight as possible. And he writes it at the bottom right hand of the page and shows it to you. See? That's me. My name.
It says Malcolm. Its the penmanship is a little bad. It's a little rough, but it says Malcolm.
Proteus is going to say, what else did you talk about with him?
He wanted me to read chapter 1, but I couldn't read it, so then he just showed me how to read.
Chapter 1, okay. Makes sense.
It would kind of dawn on you, Proteus, too. This isn't a kindergarten. You don't learn how to read here.
Oh, he knows that.
Yeah.
he's definitely on red alert right now.
And Malcolm just goes back and he's drawing a picture. At first it looks like a cloud, but then you realize it has a head, and there are 2 points sticking out of the head. And it has 4 legs. And tassels.
Well, yeah, gotta start somewhere. We're probably gonna wait up for everyone and then go home and talk about everything we learned today. So maybe you can tell us more then.
All right, and I will let everyone kind of. You probably notice the courtyard from windows, and you just see Malcolm on a bench with Proteus. So I'll let you all kind of get back together. Here you go.
How many pieces of paper did Malcolm get?
You only got 1.
Okay.
You could get more if you wanted to. He was going to offer you more, but...
There is a backside.
Well, he said to only put my name right here. And I gotta put it on all the papers.
What
Hey, then.
papers?
Every papers that I give to him, it needs to have my name right there.
Okay, so you plan to give this to him?
Yeah, it's my assignment.
Okay, well, in any case, we should probably begin making our way back. And once we get back, we can talk a little bit more about your assignment here.
Back to where?
The hotel.
Oh, I can't go back there. I gotta meet with Owen tonight.
Who's Owen?
He's a blue guy. He says that we're gonna do the good stuff.
What?
What?
What do you...
All right.
Malcolm, how much trouble do you manage to get into while we were gone?
I didn't get into any trouble. Owen helped me not get in trouble because he told you're not supposed to eat on the floor.
Dante is just looking very... It's not disappointment, but it is.
Roy's like, but you've eaten at tables before. Why did you change that now?
Well, you normally eat grass from the ground.
I told you to go get salad because that's what is on the menu and has grass in it.
Well, the skeleton man was giving everyone what they wanted, so I just wanted to see if he could do it. And he did it. He did a good job.
I don't know if I should be impressed or mortified.
Don't even.
All right.
Well, I
Plan
believe
B.
mortified would be the better.
We're going to the dorms.
I suppose so. I've also ended up in a night activity, so probably need to talk about that as well. So I guess they said we can use the dorm, so I'll try to find an empty dorm.
You didn't find a crack of dawn thing to go to, did you? He says to Dante.
No, I had a conversation with Father Nevin again, though. So I'll be able to help out. Also, surprisingly more to him than what I initially thought.
Let's go. Does anyone even know where our dorms are, actually?
Oh, I know. He's gonna use the amulet, and he's gonna say the dorms.
It doesn't do anything.
Oh no, guys, I broke it.
Find people, not places.
Oh.
Like if I were to say Malcolm McFluff, and he just...
Yeah, it rises up and points towards Malcolm.
That finds you. Since it works in both professors and students.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Nicholas
ask
pauses
if it
for
can find Nicholas.
It does not.
Okay, good. At least that part. It
Yes,
doesn't
I
appear.
considered the other issue after I heard mention of the fact it was... Well, it works only on the campus.
Well, we already knew that, but
Yes, we knew that much already, but it does... Well, anyone effectively on campus.
In any case, I suppose if we want to know where the dorms are, we can ask.
we know where the dorms are. We just don't know where our dorms are.
Yeah, we should just ask Dean Woodrow where we can dorm up.
You mentioned there were some empty ones. Just...
Are you going to the
Guess we'll
dean?
just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make it long story short, he tells you it's on the second floor. So you go in through the cafeteria. You go
Yep.
you go up, and your rooms will be the two rooms, two people per room, on the very end of the hall as you go up the stairs.
Okay, so we have these two.
Yeah, those two.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. Then yeah, we will
Okay.
Oh gosh.
It's like the closet meeting room.
Yeah, they're quite small, but they're not to scale. But
I'll call it you move.
yeah. So
There's a second Malcolm.
there's a second Malcolm. Oh no, now there's not.
That's because he moved.
So this is like, who's gonna go in each room?
well, right now we're gonna congregate in all
We're
one
gonna
room, but
congregate
It's
in
really
one
tight.
room.
So
There's no.
That's right. As I said, it's like the closet meeting
yeah.
room all over
Oh
again.
my gosh.
Throw up the ward. Draw the curtains.
Yeah. Okay. You are.
Are we actually?
You're
yes,
in
we
the room together.
yes we actually are. Oh, they clearly did not make these for 4 people.
They're made for
Considering-
sleeping, not for congregating.
And considering there's only 2 beds.
Yeah, well, if we can't go back, this is how we're gonna have to.
Okay, Malcolm, what is your assignment?
Oh, he wanted me to draw a picture and put my name right here.
A picture of what?
He didn't say, so I'm just gonna draw a picture of me and him.
Right. And you needed to read chapter 1 of what?
That was what he wanted me to do first, but since I couldn't do it, he made me do this instead.
Well, chapter 1 has to be a reference to something. It's like
Yeah, that's the magic-y book thing.
Didn't you go with him? He looks at Nicholas.
He didn't have any books at that point in time, so I have no idea what Malcolm's talking about.
does Malcolm have a book on him?
No, Malcolm does not have a book on him.
Why did he want to give you that book? He had to have said something.
Okay. So here's what happened. Okay, so I was eating grass, and then he found me, and he took me to this room that's like this one, but nicer. And he said that he knows that I couldn't. I was listening, and then I looked at the wall. I was thinking about grass, so he wants me to go in. He doesn't want me to go in during class. He wants me to come in after class, so that I don't get looked at the wall. And yeah.
He wants you to go in after class so you don't look at the wall, so you can read a part of a book.
So he can
Yeah.
do more akin to private tutoring. Malcolm doesn't understand that.
More or less, my question is, what did he offer to teach you other than reading? His first offer.
Just the stuff that he was teaching in class.
The one-on-one teaching.
Yeah, he's kind of scary at first, but then when you're just around him a little bit, he's actually not that scary. Well, okay, he is scary, but he's not mean.
Apparently he sees Malcolm's not understanding the topics and figured Malcolm needed to learn by some other means.
I think
Did
that
you
I think
Or-
that you're not giving him enough credit. I think he senses something.
did you at all mention the thing you were debating on telling him about that you told me after class?
Wait,
Malcolm kind of touches his toes together and he says, I wanted to, but I didn't. I might later. Because, oh right, you guys weren't there when I told Nick about this. So he was talking a lot about how a big thing of magic is controlling it, and you know how I explode and I can't control it, but I don't want to hurt you guys because the scary things told me that I couldn't control myself, and then the Houndoom guy said that I couldn't control myself, and this guy he might be able to help me control my exploding, but I don't know yet.
I think you have more control over it than you realize. The thing that the guy was upset about was he just didn't think you thought before you acted. That's not lack of control.
Eh.
Dante just messages Proteus. I think that is exactly a lack of control, but I'm not going to say that out loud.
Proteus will more or less say, did he ask you if you had anything magical
No,
happen to you?
no. He just asked me where I came from.
What did you tell him?
I was an exchange student from the water continent.
All right.
And he asked me what I was studying, and I didn't know, so I just said agriculture.
Hmm.
Do they teach
Right.
that here?
No.
Well,
That's
I think we could maybe spin something for him with that, but
Food for thought for
agriculture
later.
is not even remotely.
no, but in some ways it might give him a better alibi for why he goes to classes in different ways and doesn't just think of them in the ways most people do. So I think
Well, I mean, the simple fact that Professor Eric Hells has already been trying to teach him how to read. Who's to say, conversations might be had regarding the faculty.
Well,
yeah. Now, what about this other fellow?
I want Proteus and Malcolm to do perception checks.
Oh, we're about to die.
oh boy.
9.
Oh no!
Perception.
Oh no!
Oh
no.
I
no!
haven't rolled above a 10 in like 2 sessions.
Dude,
Okay.
where did the
Reroll?
magnet go?
Reroll maybe?
I'd rather have that against getting stabbed than noticing someone trying to break in.
No reroll?
No reroll.
I
Fire's
guess up
call.
to you.
It's Fire's call.
Yeah.
It is.
I guess that's a no.
Yeah. Sure. We'll have Malcolm re-roll it. If he jumps out the window, it'll match the vibes of the day.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh.
7.
The reroll is useless.
No, not necessarily. I've seen
He
it.
got the same number as me.
Okay. Well, you don't notice anything.
All right.
Oh. Right. You were asked about the other guy, I think, before we were told
Yep.
perceptions.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, you mean Owen?
Yeah, so who is Owen?
He's a blue monkey guy. He talks kind of funny. and uh, at night they do the good stuff.
Dante is
Uh,
very much just frowning.
Unfortunately,
I asked him if you guys could come too, but he said that he didn't want any narcs being there. I don't think you guys are narcs, but I don't know what a narc is.
This is
Well,
the last thing I want him going to.
unfortunately, I think that people like that are the most likely to disappear, which for us is quite possibly going to speed up our research a bit more quickly. Though, Malcolm, don't take more than one of a good stuff
Why?
because it'll make you feel sick.
Oh, so it's. But that's not good stuff.
It's not.
yes, it's
It's the
not.
good stuff what once. You can only have it once a day, otherwise you get a tummy ache.
We cannot be.
Oh, so it's like the sweet grass.
What?
Maybe. This one might be bitter.
We are not.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Condoning this.
I mean, grass is bitter.
No, it's not.
What
I
what
worry he's going
is
to.
what is bitter to you?
That's like when you try to eat a banana peel.
I wouldn't call that bitter. I would just call that fibrous.
Are you sure he understands the concept of like a flavor in the sense? Well, no, he just described sweetgrass.
In any case,
I worry
when
he's going to get himself hurt in some regards going to that.
Well, he's he's tough. And Brace will just message and say someone's gonna have to follow him. To the other two.
Question is who?
All right, well, Gorvin, what a seems like
well,
you're in a similar position.
yeah, only I'd say my position is a bit more precarious. I decided to do my performing to see if I can attract some attention and find a clique, and I didn't get his name, but there was this weird flamboyantly dressed hobbit that approached me, and they're doing a poetry reading tonight. Thing is, their poetry reading is, I don't know why or how they got permission or anything like that, but they decided they wanted to do their poetry reading outside of the city, in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the night.
Wait.
Dante, you're with Malcolm. Well, actually, I don't know. Our attempts at trying to keep you hidden haven't gone well because you're a giant
He just looks
candlestick.
over.
A candlestick.
I think I think in this instance, if we are going to split up and double up on this, it'll probably be Dante and me, and you keeping an eye on Malcolm.
I'm far more concerned about the situation you're in than the one Malcolm is.
Yeah, I kinda can't disagree myself.
You're in my
Y-
element there. This place is well lit.
Problem is,
Problem is,
if you're asking me to go with Malcolm, you're asking a far worse task.
yeah,
Because then I have
unfortunately,
to go in, obviously, and
Well, I
mingle in that
guess
fashion.
you're gonna have to mingle either way if you aren't gonna be sneaky.
I
How's your
think the pro.
poetry? You know any haikus? Here, I'll give you one. The tree died, the leaves died, winter is here.
I thought all haikus ended with it snowing on Mount Fuji. I'm not sure what a Mount Fuji is, but
Malcolm kind of frowns and says, I don't think they'd like Dante.
yeah, I kind of getting that impression too. They said no narcs, and no offense, Dante, but you're probably exactly what they're expecting when they use the word narc.
None taken. If anything, I'd rather be the narc.
All right, well, you better go find out how to do poetry then, if you're gonna try to be blend in rather than sneak around.
I'm certain they'll think of something.
I'm just hoping they'll let me play music.
Things go wrong, I could always find some sort of excuse or even just.
Either
He
way,
thinks for a bit.
either way, in my department, be ready for anything, cause a bunch of idiots going out in the middle of the night is probably recipe for disaster.
Well, both scenarios sound like recipes for disaster, but yes, going outside the walls of the city in the middle of the night, we're bound to potentially either run into, well, bandits or kidnappings, or maybe something worse.
Frankly, I'd rather have all of us there for it, but Malcolm
Apparently,
has
both
an
these are happening at the same time.
yeah, and Malcolm has an unfortunately very good opportunity here.
Do we have any means of contacting each other if anything happens?
I don't think so. We really need to we might need to ask Estelle at some point in time about procuring us ourselves some sort of means of long range communication, considering how often we split up.
Something similar to that sending stone just for ourselves.
Yeah, well, dude, we don't want to ask them about something like that.
There's a knock at
You
your
got
door.
Oh,
Malcolm gets up to headbutt the door.
I'm gonna just sidle through the door. I'm gonna have to unlock the thing too.
You have to take down the ward and then unlock it.
Yeah, yeah, which is a lock, so I have to unlock the
Yeah.
door.
so I feel like if Malcolm's going to do that, he's just going to have headbutting Nicholas.
He's stuck. We've pinned him in, boys. All right, I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I'm just gonna sidle through the door.
All right. When you open the door, there's no one there, but then you look down and there's the familiar face of Professor Ozzy at your door.
Oh.
Oh
Oh,
no!
got
I
quite a crowd in there, don't you?
Yeah,
no.
we're discussing day one of school.
Huh. Did it have to do with my class, I hope?
Oh, Yeah, we were still going around sharing stories. I was gonna go next.
Oh. Well, I'd actually like you to come down to my office. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Your
Oh,
performance in my class. And, personal evaluations should be kept confidential, shouldn't they?
yeah, I suppose so.
So,
All right.
you three wouldn't mind if I borrowed Proteus from you?
No,
I believe so. No.
Nicholas is slightly concerned, but he says, go on ahead.
Huh. And she begins taking you downstairs to uh, this office right here.
Okay.
Do you think...
man, isn't she gonna be impressed that he can already read?
Oh my god.
Would you three do anything now that Proteus is gone?
um. Well, we kind of
I
just got interrupted in the middle of a conversation. I think at this point we're going to be waiting for him to come back.
Okay.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna do anything.
No.
Join me in the private room, Proteus.
Okay.
Another.
Oh gosh.
Alright, you go into this small room. It has a large mahogany desk. It has two seats, a nicer seat in the back, but a small chair in the front of it. And adorning this room are a lot of just contraptions you can't make rhyme or reason of sitting on the shelves. And there's also like trophies and pictures of her accepting these trophies. And there's a lot of them on the shelves behind her. There's like an actual trophy cabinet. She says, sit down.
All right. He's going to inspect it for booby traps.
You don't have to worry about that, but I appreciate my lessons stick if you're actually doing that. They didn't let me do that to my personal office here, only my classroom. And
Mhm.
I'll let you check it, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, okay. Well, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Oh boy, they're gonna.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna sit down and start talking.
So yeah, you maybe it's nervousness, but you check the chair, but you don't feel like you didn't give a once over to it. I I was quite impressed with you, Proteus. Actually, what you all of my, let's be honest, all of my students fall for every single one, but you begin to catch on as soon as I let you go to your seat. And with that, am impressed with you. So, in that nature, what do you think this is about? Why did I take you here?
I can think of a few scenarios. I pulled out that little contraption at the end there. I potentially showed initiative, or perhaps it was more in the fact that I was able to at least give you the ability to showcase all of the contraptions in one go.
I'll let you believe whatever you want to believe. But I will tell you, have you met Professor Wolfric yet?
I have not.
Well, you should know he is a genius biologist, and he has this fascination, you see, with a Pokemon known as Ditto. How it's now this is all just grass language to me, but switch its molecular structure and turn into other things. He's very interested in that. But that's not my area of expertise, as you probably understand. My area of expertise is illusion, and there is one Pokemon that interests me, and it's Zorua.
Hmm, that would make sense, though. Stantler do have some natural capabilities in that class as well.
Mm-hmm. But the point is they're they're a very mousy kind. Those Zora, they're pretty hard to find, as they don't like assuming their true form. In Well, but they have this very unique ability. Hear this. It's very similar to what the illusionist Monoborn do, but they have it innately, which is just it's quite the anomaly, wouldn't you agree? They're able to replicate what the Monoborn do is they use light and shadow to in the more common illusion spells, which are minor illusion, silent image, and major image. They gather shadow stuff and light to conjure optical illusions, sometimes actually tricking the other five senses as well. But Zorua have the amazing ability, despite some of them not even being Monoborn, to do this. And that's fascinating for my line of work. You understand, right?
Yeah, understanding how non-monoborn could produce an effect would make it significantly easier to replicate.
Precisely. And so I make it a habit. Every new person I meet, I investigate them thoroughly, but I haven't found one yet.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. I wanted to merely tell you something. Do you know what the ultimate illusion is, Proteus?
Hmm. I suppose it would depend on the what you are trying to get the other person to believe. I believe that there are different spells that can procure
She shakes her head.
powerful effects.
No. The most powerful illusion isn't what a monoborn can do with spells. It's not weaving light from nothing or crafting some grand mirage. No. The most powerful illusion is making your enemy underestimate you. That's the problem with monoborn illusions. No one underestimates them. When someone can lay waste to a battlefield with a 20-foot radius fireball, who in their right mind would lower their guard? You can't trick someone into thinking you're harmless when they know exactly what you can do. But us, the mundane folk, people always think they're better than us. And not out of cruelty, don't get me wrong, no. It's just the way things are. Monoborn are raised in halls that tell them from the moment they can hold a spell book that they're special and that they're above the rest of us. And that, my dear Proteus, is the crack in their armor, their blind spot. They don't think like us, so they don't see like us. And the biggest mistake anyone can make is believing that just because someone isn't special, they aren't dangerous. Take me, for example. You know about my kind, correct?
I've heard a little bit.
Yeah, small, scrappy, dim-witted. We aren't supposed to be clever. We're supposed to be cannon fodder, and well, when people looked at me, they didn't see a scholar or an inventor or an illusionist. They saw a stupid little lizard. So, I let them. I played that role and let them dismiss me. I let them laugh, and when the moment came, as she points towards the trophies, I stepped right over them and left them choking in the dust of their own expectations, too busy looking down at me not to see me ahead of them. Illusions and deception, they're not for the powerful, they're for the ones the world forgot, the ones who were ignored, dismissed, and underestimated. And what's more powerful than that?
Perception.
Exactly.
Yes, I also noticed they fall into the camp of because they have magic, they think every problem they run into is magical. The way to trick them, I would say, is if you could procure some magic and some mundane.
My point is make them see what they want to see. They are raised in halls that exalt them, and they're trained from childhood to believe that way. And so, the simplest and most effective deception is to give them precisely that. Let them assume you are weak. Let them assume they have the upper hand and that you are insignificant. Allow them to build their own illusion. But I'm here for another reason. She reaches down into her desk and pulls out this device. You see this device here? It's been something I've been working on. This is the part where you ask me what it does, but I'll fill that in for you.
Proteus was probably just trying to like look at the insides of it first.
Well, it disrupts shadow and light and completely renders the popular image spells of mages, as well as my own optical illusions, inert. Would you like an example? I can. I'd obviously have to call Eric Hellison here for him to conjure an illusion for him to shut off, but I have a feeling you don't want me to do that. You probably believe me, it does what I say it does.
At this point, Proteus is probably going to try to check to see if she's trying to gain evidence as to whether or not he's a Zorua. Can I make an insight check for that?
Yeah.
To see how confident she seems to be in that?
Sure.
Okay. I a plus 3 to those. 17. I finally got above a 10.
This is more. She is clearly doing what you think she's doing, but she's being more playful with it. But she also says, back on the subject of Zorua, it's not like I would out them or anything, or blackmail. I would never do anything like that. It's just a simple curiosity. But, yeah, you probably believe me this thing works as I say it does.
I'm sure. I've been told that the device that I've created is one of yours.
Oh, the Mentapillar, yes. I patented that. You probably, I'm guessing you were an Iron Broach when you either purchased that. It means you either have a deep wallet or you're very smart. I hope it is the latter.
Yes, I created it because I find artificery rather fascinating. I won't lie. I find exactly what you do to also be fascinating, combining the mundane with the physical.
Indeed.
After all, what is the one great weakness of a spellcaster's minor illusion spell?
Mm-hmm.
It has no form,
It's an optical illusion.
but but you can make them believe it has form if you give them something to touch.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of make his point, he'll probably like hit something with one of his handlers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Don't dent my desk, please. But
Yeah, it was probably like a bookshelf or something. But
well, the point is, I don't want this device for me. I want this device for Azoroa if I happen to meet one. Because I don't want it to shut off illusions. That's silly. It goes against everything I do. What I'm trying to do is make illusions, the ones Monoborn and Zoro can craft, malleable like putty. How they can switch it to something else without incanting spells or making elaborate motions. It's just missing a rare component that I unfortunately unable to get. And I would give this device to Azoroa to test it out. I could perhaps entrust it to you, and if you come across one, perhaps give it to them. Once it's done, of course. I'm not giving it to you now. I don't want you going around shutting off illusions.
yes, might take a bit of time to find one.
Mm-hmm.
And so with this device, you want to try to give it the ability to create another illusion the moment it brings one down.
Yes, or a free form, because that is the power of illusions, as you stated, is creativity. And if one fails, if one image fails, I want the ability to craft it into another.
I would say that the prospect of something like that does seem rather useful.
Mm-hmm. So if you're interested, and like I said, well, I know this is neither here nor there. I would never blackmail or coerce Zorua into doing tasks for me. I'm just doing this out of curiosity. But if you would like to help me with this, there is a rare mineral in the forest where the druids who have, well, they rebuke our society, and they live near a structure with a rare mineral. I believe it's called spore stone. That is the last component I need to make this. Now, I have sent people here before, but groups, in fact, but only they either didn't come back or, well, one came back, and that is one currently in Professor Wolverick's care. And trust me, it isn't pretty. But if you have the will and the means to go get this mineral for me, it would be much appreciated, so I can give it to you to give it to Azoroa, and maybe tell that Zora to follow up with me on how it works.
Well, we'll have to see if the opportunity to go there arises.
Yeah, yes, that's understandable. You just started here. But that's all I wish to tell you.
All right. Very well. Well,
Yeah.
I will get back to you if we find some results and can continue forward with this project.
Yes, I'll let you take your leave. I'm quite hungry.
All right.
Yeah, we can go back to the main chat. All right.
Boy.
All right. So quite a bit, like about 15 to 20 minutes later, Proteus arrives back.
Okay. Think something might have occurred.
A thing might have occurred. Is there
Yeah,
a room to go back to?
Yeah, there's a room to go back to.
they just taught Malcolm the letter S is all.
Malcolm was trying to spell small and spelled it
He
wrong,
used
so
he
Dante
used
tried to
C.
help.
All right. Well, you're back in the room, Proteus.
All right. Well, he's gonna ward the thing again, and he's just going to say, "All right, these things that let you find anyone anywhere makes meetings like this very, very unproductive here.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Anyone
Considering
knows where we are can then find us, and then it's very strange to have 4 people in one room that can hardly house two."
Well, I mean, we all are transfer students from the water continent, so us all being together isn't exactly the most.
yes, but all of us in a single dorm room for some reason, standing around this cramped.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. It's frustrating, but
Seems we've had a lot of attention in one day already.
Either way, we're going to that. We're going to go visit your friend, your poetry friends, Gorvin.
oh, you decided to
If I, if I'm reading what I was told in there correctly, I think that might be one of the first clues to where people go missing.
okay,
There
then
is some kind of temple out there, and I do believe that the students are going to try to tell ghost stories or something similar there. And people don't tend to come back from that location. And by people, I mean adventurers who aren't 15-year-olds.
okay,
So they're
then yeah.
effectively going into a haunted woods looking for scares.
Yes.
I mean, their poetry name was already
I'm
freaking
also
red
going
flag.
to point out that the teachers here seem to know how to read people very well. Someone's gonna probably be able to read into you next, Gorvin. If I were to guess, they would probably know your main secret. Already, I think we're in a tough situation. I think Eric Ellis knows more than he's letting on, and I definitely have my suspicions confirmed in the other corner.
Oh, joy.
Speaking of students going missing in dorms, that reminds me, there's apparently a student that's been housed up in the dorms for the last few days. Just after a brief conversation with Dean Woodrow again, uh, been supposedly been missing classes, but just seems to be shooing people off whenever asked. I don't know if it'd be much connection to this, but something I was alerted of.
Might be a good idea to look into it. Either way, I think what you learned, Proteus, definitely confirms that. Sorry, Malcolm, but you're not going to be able to join in tonight. If what
Aw.
Proteus learned is true, then we're going to need all hands on deck.
I don't know if they're planning on going there directly, but it would be in the same forest. And either way, even if they aren't carted away into there, we wouldn't want to check it either way. But fortunately, Malcolm knows how to spell now, so he might be able to show up with poetry.
Maybe if poetry means having the word small in Malcolm. And I think maybe calm. I think I got that one too.
I'm surprised you don't know how to write grass. You know how to recognize it, don't you?
Oh yeah, but there's a sound in there I don't know. 2 sounds.
Oh, I think we can help you shore that one up a little bit. The words you know are Malcolm, small, and we'll teach you grass.
Mr. Eric Ellis is going to be so proud of me.
Yeah, so why don't you try to write grass is small, Malcolm is small, Malcolm is grass.
No, silly, I'm not grass.
Grass is Malcolm,
No.
grass
Well,
in Malcolm.
Yes.
They say you are what you eat.
So yeah, I guess Proteus is gonna coach Malcolm through creating
Oh my
poetry.
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So the plan is to go to the dead poet group or whatever.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. Unless there's anything else you wish to do around the campus besides to make Malcolm poetry, is there?
I think so.
I think it's too late to really do anything else.
What would you want to do?
Um,
The only thing we have left to do is maybe try and talk to that one student.
yeah, Dante might want to do that by himself. I think showing up with 4 people isn't a great way to introduce yourself to a shut-in.
The problem is I don't really know what to really do with there.
Yeah, the other thing I might do is bug Professor Eric Ellis about spell legend lore.
Okay. This sounds like maybe it's a thing to do on the bucket list next time.
Yeah, it's been on the bucket list for a while, so I didn't expect we'd get to it.
All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. We'll wrap up that session. We didn't get to anything I was planning for, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So we'll leave off there and
Wow.
join the Poet Society next time. I should point out that big black splotch on the map is a building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
figured.
but-
It's like the
Figured.
teacher's lounge.
Yeah. Well, you don't know that, but
I'm not sure. Maybe.
yeah. But yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens next time in poetry reading. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.